Okay, so the very start of your project is the most important part. You're setting the firm foundations for a strong project. So you would have started by choosing a theme and doing a mind map to fully explore how you could tackle this subject. You won't do all the things on your mind map, but it gives you lots of useful ideas and tells the examiner that you're full of thoughts and possibilities at this point in your project. After that, you would have selected an object that is related to your theme, and you would have created a contact sheet. So that's a series of photographs. Around 10 is a perfectly good number. It won't be photographs of lots of different things. It'll be one thing that you've changed the angle, the light source, the eye level. And then the next stage of the editing that the examiners will expect to see is you get a pen or a pencil and you physically circle the ones that worked well and put a cross through the ones where you've decided that's as far as it goes. The next step that we're going to work on then, and I'm going to look at the computer for this one here, is you'll have your photographs on the computer and you just open it up. So I've got here a picture of a rose that I've taken that I feel I can edit further. Now there's all sorts of apps and things you can get on your phones or on the computer, but there's lots you can do simply in Word. So I'm just right clicking and copying that image there, and I'm going to take it across to a Word document here. Okay, so open up a new one and paste it on. Now it's very important that you show the examiner your first image that you started with. And in some ways, if it's not a very good image, that's all the better because it shows what you can do with it. Okay, so I've just got a simple picture there, a little bit bigger than the thumbnail so I can show some more detail. And then I'm going to, I would type underneath it that is the original. So just, physically put a little text box there or handwrite it afterwards, but don't forget to put these annotations on because they're really important. So we're just going to type in original. You might add a little bit of detail about why you particularly like this picture. Maybe it's the focus, maybe it's the fact that you zoomed in, etc. Okay, so that's the original image. And then what I'm going to do is leave that there and underneath it paste on the next image, okay, that I'm going to work from. Now in this one here, if I'm just going to select that, so left click and select it, and then come across to formatting the picture, there's artistic effects that I could put on. So I could click, if I go on this one here and scroll down to artistic and click on it, there's all sorts of artistic effects I can get straight away. So I could put some of those on. Now it's very important whatever you choose, you keep a note of it. So, if you particularly like that one, this is called photocopy. So then you go back to your Word document and you write next to it in another text box what that effect is, okay? Then you can combine the effects. So you might want to take the photocopy effect and combine it with another one. So leave that one there and scroll down, so copy that one and put it underneath. And then keep a note of how you have added two or a combination of different filters. You might want to go back to the original and just try another filter. So that's one thing you can do to show editing of your photographs. Okay, the next thing you can do, so let's just put a little effect in this. So I'm going to right click again on here. So let's just show you what I've got there. I'm going to right click, and this time when I format it, maybe I combine the photocopy with now doing something like the paint strokes. So you get really quite a dramatic effect again, and I need to write down what those two effects combined together are. Now at this point you might want to go back to the original, so it's up to you how many stages you do with each picture. I'm just going to put a fresh paste down from the original photograph. Okay, so I'm going back to the original here, and this time another thing you could do is to change the saturation and the hue of the picture. So let me make that a bit bigger so you can see. So I'm going to right click this time and format, and this time I'm going to come over here and do some picture corrections so I could make it sharper, you know, and it really makes it ping out there. And you could, you know, change the brightness. Maybe you want a more eerie, darker effect. You could change the contrast there as well. You could do some really quite exciting and dramatic effects, like, you know, totally zoom in, saturate the colour. I've gone up to 400% there. You could change the temperature. So all of these things that you do, I've given it a nice blue tone there, all the things you do, you want to keep in your annotation. So I would be writing down, here I increased the saturation to 400% and took the temperature down to 2.63. Okay, so I would want you to do several edits. I'm going to say at least 6 and up to 10. Don't go on and on. But these are really useful techniques that you can then take back into your oil pastel or your painting or your coloured pencil work. So all these different mediums are complementing each other. I'd like you to have a go today at just editing your photos in Word, because sometimes if you get a fancy app or something that does all the work for you and makes your work look good, you're not really getting much credit, because the person who invented the app has done something wonderful. But you physically going in and taking the dial up on the saturation, on the artistic effect, combining different effects together and telling the examiner why you did it and why you think it looks good is really going to get you extra marks. Okay, so just using basic Word to edit your photos. If you could do that today and send in your pictures by the end of the lesson, I can print them out in school on photographic paper and then arrange collection at a later date if you don't have those resources at home. But please definitely keep up to date with the fact you've got your contact sheet done, and then you're editing one or more of the photos at least 6 times and up to 10 times there, annotating the changes. Okay, look forward to seeing what you're doing. Please remember to send it in. Thank you.